roll.
Councilmember Hooper,
Present.
Councilmember Burks Frazier,
Here.
Councilmember Henderson,
Here.
Councilmember Tolliver,
Present.
Councilmember Mosley, Councilmember Atkins.
Here.
Okay, we got quorum, we got 100%, all 6 council members present. All right, first thing we need to do, council, is we got 2 sets of minutes. The January 13th minutes, and then the January 28th special call meeting where the budget was set.
I move that we approve the minutes for January 13th, 2025, regular city council meeting.
All right?
Second.
Motion and second. Got that? This is just for the January 13th minutes?
Yes.
Okay, any question or discussion, you got a copy of those in your packet. All right, all those in favor of approval, this is for January 13th, 2025, show of hands, please. I see 6 in favor, okay?
I move that we approve the special call meeting January 28th, 2025 minutes.
Okay,
Second.
I think Councilmember Mosley probably got that second in first. So, motion and second that this is the called meeting of January the 28th, 2025.
I'm ready. Just need to ask a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Along with the minutes, we do have the attachments attached to these minutes.
Yes, we will have the attachment just yet.
Okay, it doesn't have that listed, if you'll just put attachments
Okay,
and whatever you are attaching.
okay.
Call for the vote.
Okay. All in favor of approval, show of hands, please. I see 6 in favor, thank you. So both sets of minutes are approved, thank you. All right, that brings us to the city clerk's report. I've been asked by the council to try to, in order to try to kind of maybe move things along a little bit faster with all these written reports that we provide y'all, that we just call it to your attention. We will have to act on the statement of revenue and expenditures. You got a complete copy. That's everything we've collected in January revenue and everything we've spent in January of 2025, first month of the year. Look that over. I want to call one thing to your attention. The administrative budget may look right out of the box a little bit higher, but if you'll notice, our workers' comp insurance had to be paid. That falls under that category. That's over $42,000. And that's what makes that number so high. I think you'll find the rest of them not quite too bad. But I'll give you a minute to look if you need to, but when you're ready, we need to act on those.
I move that we approve the statement of revenue and expenditures as presented, well, as given to us by the city clerk. Second.
Okay, motion and second. Okay, got a motion and second. Any question or discussion on the motion? All in favor of approval, show of hands, please. And I again see 6 in favor, so that takes care of that. You do have a copy of our cash balances. That's every dime the city's got. Now, a lot of those funds, as y'all know, are designated by law and different things, so they're not just free cash to be used, but you can look at that. That's for your information. If anybody's got any questions now or later, you can ask. You'll see the city and county sales tax. Now, all this has been prepared by the clerk. You will notice we got the year-end report on our sales tax, the city sales tax, and it's all down. Everything we got's been down a little bit. Not drastic, but some. And our portion of the county sales tax that we get is also down a little bit. And so, you know, that don't help the city, but nevertheless, it's hanging in there. And then you've got the district court clerk's report. Of course, that's submitted to us directly by the district judge in his office as to all of their expenditures and fines collected and so forth and so on. And so Of course, we don't get all of that fine money, everybody knows that, I think, a lot of it goes to different things, programs statewide, we get some. Anybody got any questions on any of that? All right, under Mayor's report, we have a special presentation to make, and former council member Marshall, would you come forward? You can certainly bring your family or anybody you want to with you, that'll be. And I'm gonna step down here so me and the council can all kind of jointly give this to you, get some pictures made. Former council member Marshall has served on the city council for about 10 years. And of course, she decided to step aside this last time. And so we just want to give her a little something for her service. And I think that looks like Mama coming up here, doesn't it? You just come right on up here. How are you doing? It's so nice to see you. How are you doing? Council members, any of y'all want to gather around up here? Just, and we'll, Rob, you gonna get a picture or just?
I'll have you guys send me one if that's all right. It's gonna be a little difficult.
Okay.
No,
Got everybody?
No, you're good. They can shoot me one, yeah.
I still call you that. Once a council member, always a council member, okay? So, I just want to thank you for 10 years of hard work and dedication. Angela Marshall, Warren City Council, served in Ward 1, Position 1, 2014 to 2024, and we want to present that to you. And just thank you for your service to the city. And if you want to say something, you're more than welcome to, if you'd like to.
I would just like to thank the council, the mayor and the staff for putting up with me, and the citizens of Warren. I've been a public servant for the city of Warren for 30 years. My first unofficial job was Parks and Rec. So I thank God for that. So, and I thank God for my family, my husband and my mom. And so it's just time to spend some time with them.
Okay.
So,
Well, we thank you very much. Getting up early mornings to be here for
7
committee
o'clock.
meetings and things like that, as well as every month, of course.
Yeah.
And just thank you so much. We wish you very well as you go on in life.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Thanks for coming. You take care. Thank you. Okay, council members. We're gonna try to roll through some things that I've got here. Okay, well, let's get this shake hands and hug it next, and we'll get on.
See, there you go. Already. So now you gotta take care of it. Now you got to mess up things. Well, thank you all.
Okay, thank you. Now, under the mayor's report, which is item 6 on the agenda, that was the first item. And again, we thank former council member Marshall for all of her service and work. In your packets, or maybe in some of that other stuff I laid down there, a few things we didn't have in your packets when y'all met for the agenda meeting. But you'll see there's a letter of resignation from Patsy Clare. She's been serving on the Civil Service Commission, and she didn't serve too terribly long, and they've relocated out of the city limits for her husband now. So she can't live outside the city limits and be on the Civil Service Commission. So that's something we'll be, I don't know that you've got to accept that, but if anybody wants to know, it's legal, she's resigned, so just telling you that. We'll be coming back with some appointments to make in the future. The mayor's 2024 annual report. Now, you don't have my written report in there. I've got about a 4-page summary, and with Charlotte, my secretary, being out, we just had a difficult time getting everything done. You will find throughout the agenda tonight, though, as you're looking at it, I get a report from every department head. Okay, I get a report from for the whole year. This is for 2024. Hello, guys. Be quiet out there. Shut that door or do something. So you're gonna find reports from almost all the department heads. Some of it's a little more detailed than others, but for 2024. I am going to put a summarized report together. I'm gonna send that to y'all later, and of course make it available to the news media and everybody for the public. With some other things that I think need to be pointed out, but I just couldn't get that done, get it in writing. It'll just be a few pages. It won't be a book or anything like that, but I wanted to report that to you. Now let me give you a very brief report on our industrial prospects, because this is important that y'all, council, and everybody else be kept informed best we can. We are still anticipating Sky Blue Carbon to just within a few more weeks open up their biochar operation in the old poultry plant out in the industrial park out on the south part of town. Been a little bit of a hang up with the guy that still owns it, that had the poultry plant out there. You know, he basically, things didn't go well, and he shut it down and took off to Alabama and refiled his company for tax purposes and everything in Alabama, and we're trying to get that all out of his name back to ADFA, Arkansas Development Finance Authority, which loaned him the money to buy it and do a bunch of stuff. He owes them a bunch of money, but the new company, of course, is fixing to buy that with a bond issue and pay off the note along with the other things that they're putting out there. We hope to get all that wrapped up. It's turned into a little bit of a legal quagmire, but we're going to get it done. ADFA's lawyers are working on it, and they've been keeping in touch with me. But bottom line is, things are still progressing. They've got their first line of production pretty much ready to go. Going to add some more if everything goes well. Probably see about 20 to 25 new jobs out there if this all goes through properly. And they've done spent a lot of money out there, so they intend for it to go through. And then hopefully it'll be adding some more jobs as time goes on. They're going to be pretty good paying jobs and some decent jobs out there. We hope to see that grow into something even bigger, but at least get started with it. That's good news. We've still got a company that's got a option on what we refer to, council members, as the Greg's property, which is out on the bypass. Now that property is owned by the Bradley County Industrial Development Corporation, not the city, but they're working with this company. We're involved with them, to another wood products company that, if it goes in, is going to be a pretty good size operation. This is not the Warehouser project. Now, I think everybody's heard about that. It's going to, hopefully, locate. It'll take about 2 years to build, but locate over actually in Drew County, but on a site that the city of Warren and Bradley County's been involved with. Actually, we're part owners of it. And if that goes through, and I have no reason, they've already announced they're going to do it. There's a lot of things that have to be done because it's a tax exempt finance issue. It has to be done. We're going to see 200 new jobs over there. And it's, you put a pin on a map, it's almost exactly between Warren and Monticello, mileage-wise, just right between us. Hopefully that's going to benefit us. Not going to pay us any taxes, but it's going to hopefully provide some jobs, and certainly for our people over here too, and what have you. So some good things going there. We go on, we got mowing bids. I've got that under the mayor's report. We do this every year. We bid out. You should have a copy of the bids. This is for mowing our recreational facilities and a number of different things. You can see it runs from a low bid of $330 per times that all, everything's mowed to $980. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bids. Council members, y'all see them. I need some kind of action.
I move that we go with, Yepes $480 base proposal.
Second.
All right, that's motion is second. That is the third lowest bid, but your motion is obviously you think that's the best
The best bid.
for the cities.
He's been doing it for a number of years with no problems.
That bid's $480, just for the record for everybody. Mr. Tollfree, you're recognized. What, did I get a second?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry, got a second. Motion, say, go ahead, Mr. Tollfree.
There's a reason why we don't accept the $330 bid other than UFS has been doing.
This is the agenda meeting, we've been satisfied with the work.
Okay.
And I think there was an issue before.
That was my understanding as well. I wasn't at the agenda meeting though. Call for the vote.
Okay. Everybody clear on what the motion is? And all in favor, show of hands. I see 6 votes in favor. Okay. Of course, we'll let everybody know what's been done. The bid. Okay, now, item 6, Tanae still here? Tanae Sellers, our water and sewer manager, asked to address the city council. This is about the boil order. I think she wanted to do a little more explanation to y'all as to what and why that all had to be done. Of course, it's over, it's lifted, but that's the situation. So today, you're recognized. Remember, I said briefly.
I tried to be brief and try to explain to y'all what happened and answer any questions y'all may have. So all of y'all know that we had an issue with our water system back the end of January, and we ended up under a boil order. So our actual issue, we've had a lot of rumors as to what happened, so I just wanted to clarify everything. One of our wells failed to start. And we ended up, after we assessed the situation, we had a blown fuse on our well, which, fortunately, that did not take us very long to fix that issue. However, by the time we were aware of the situation, our reservoir, which is at our plant, which is how we treat our water, was already empty. And we were working solely off of our water tanks, our elevated tanks, and those were already starting to empty. Normally, we can make it most of a day off of those tanks, but because of the cold weather and everyone dripping pipes, we went through that water quite a bit faster than what we normally would. By the time we received the call, of course, we immediately responded to the call. We started checking water pressure around town, and majority of the town was under 20 pounds of pressure. That is, our requirement is to be above 20 pounds of pressure, and we can only go below 20 pounds for 2 hours before we have to issue a boil order. By the time we received the call, we did not know how long people had been below 20 pounds of pressure. The west side of town was either completely out of water or well below 20 pounds. We had rural systems that were starting to run out of water. And not knowing our time frame, not knowing how long it would be before we could get water back out to customers, I issued the boil order. Of course, we worked with the school district, hospital, everybody that, like the nursing home, everyone like that treats patients or that it greatly affects, to let them know immediately, and we got word out through all the media. I think this city worked with us on that, Slinger River Chronicle, Equal Democrat, the radio station, and the school district also helped us with that. I would say probably within 2 hours, we were refilling our reservoir. We have to get it to a certain level before we can pump out to customers. And it it took us about 2 hours to get to that point so that we could get operating pressures back up and start refilling lines. We worked through the night and were able to have everyone back at a normal operating pressure by the next morning. However, we had to fill everything fairly fast to do that, which is where we had to start back on re-chlorinating everything. And that unfortunately just takes time to get it back to the ends of every street, everywhere, and then we can start testing again.
And the tests have to go to the health department in Little Rock.
So anytime it's a boil order, we personally drive those to Little Rock. We don't do those. Normally, our normal test, we take to the health department locally. Anytime it's a boil order, we drive them there because we can get them faster, but it's a 24-hour test. So once they get there, it's 24 hours.
And I guess my question really is not to you, but I know the mayor sent us, the council members, a text letting us know that the boil order was in. But we did get one saying that it was in. We had people contacting us, but we did look on Celine and we found it. So tell us since we have so many people here, the procedure as it relates getting the word out.
Well, we do it through the news media and through the city website, and that's basically how we can get the word out quickly. I'm not required to notify the city council. I just knew y'all would be getting calls and what have you, because I was getting them already. That's why I notified y'all. Sorry, I probably should have told you when I found out it was lifted. I should have done the same thing again, but I wanted you to know that it was under the boil order is why I did that. And of course, Tanae called me and made sure I was aware of it. I'd already gotten off the phone with a couple of folks that called saying, hey, something's wrong. They didn't know what it was, and just a little bit of humor. I was standing in my own bathroom whenever she called me, and of course I knew when I got a call from her that time of night, I know this isn't good. There's something that's happened. She told me what was going on, and I just reached over and flipped on my lavatory, and I just had a trickle of water. I could tell the water pressure was gone, and but in just a short few hours before before too late that night, and my water pressure was back in pretty good shape. Of course, I live pretty close to town, and you got to remember it all has to get out into the system. So that's it. We go to the news media, and of course that we go to the digital media, the radio, and then put it on the city website.
So
Basically what we do.
to maybe better answer that, my typical sources are the city Facebook page, Saline River Chronicle, the Eagle Democrat, and the radio. And I use those same sources to notify when we're under a boil order, to get any updates on the situation, and when it's lifted. And that's everybody that I email everything to.
And I think from the day that it was issued to the day it went off, we gave updates several times as well as, where we were with it.
Okay. They were just contacting, well, I know I got several.
Oh, I'm sure. I knew y'all would. There's toll free.
As in the past, and I know we've tried to address it time and time again, but that still doesn't take away, on the way that we notify people, it's still not sufficient. Because, time and time again, when we say we put it out there, you get droves and droves of people to say, I didn't know it. And I just wish we could develop something, a standard operating procedure that we had, that we could put it out there, that it would filter into more avenues than what we have now. Because you have certain parts of the population that's still not getting it. We had an incident the other day, and I know we met on it, about the state increasing our water rates. And I thought we went over there, and I thought we put it out there, and I thought that they put the reasoning for it happening. But still, as early as late as last Friday, we was questioning about it. So I just wish we could come up with a system to know that it cures everybody to go to this, to let them know that this is what's going on. I don't know what it is, but I know it's a way that we can put out some kind of questionnaire survey to the services that they would more likely pay attention to get the word out.
I don't understand what you mean questionnaire or survey. What are
You know, like on other things that I've done in the past, they'll ask you a question, where you get your news from? Or when you want something,
To find out how to reach,
yeah,
the
Well,
best way to reach people.
it's almost ironic you bring that up, because I got a phone call today from a company that says they can put a system in for us where we can put stuff out on the Facebook or internet. Of course, the problem you're gonna have there is some people not gonna have access to that. I don't care what you do, but, it would probably reach a lot of people. Now they're gonna do this for a price. It ain't free, okay?
There are also ways of like getting texts, and that's a cost too, but, you know, like everybody will sign up for it, and then you send one text and it goes a mass text.
Similar to what the school used to do.
Yeah.
And fortunately
Or
for
those
us,
silver
the
alerts.
school has always been great under bold orders to send out mass texts to anybody that's on the school email system or on the school text system, which does reach a lot, I mean, it doesn't reach everyone, but it does reach a lot of people. In the bold order situations, they've been great to work with us so far.
So maybe
I'm
we
gonna
could-
look into this. I'm sorry, go
No, if you
ahead.
say so, maybe we could contact the school or other entities that use that texting system or call, you know, and they have and see how much it costs.
Sure.
And then they make those also for cities or for water systems, and as far as the cost, I don't know, that would be my commission's decision, but I don't know that we could afford that alone.
Right. But I was thinking like a citywide, like for, you know, street closings.
You sign up for it.
Yeah,
And the cost would be on the person.
It's on,
Because the text would be
it would
coming.
be,
it's a system the city would pay
The
for,
system
but the person that
Right.
received the text.
I know that if they don't have like unlimited data. or
Oh, yeah, they would
then
pay
it
for
would
that,
cost
yeah.
them, yes.
Well, I'm supposed to be on the Zoom later in the week with this company that contacted me literally today. And they're gonna said they're gonna explain how it works, show me how it works. And I said, well, I certainly want that information. I also wanna know what's gonna cost, because that's always a factor.
Yeah.
You know, hopefully it'd be affordable. Hopefully it would be, but I just.
And not everyone do Facebook, not everyone, you know, go to the online newspaper or even buy a newspaper. And we have a lot of senior citizens. They know how to answer their phone and probably, you know, send a few texts, but that's about it.
Well, we'll look into anything that's doable. That's a valid point. That's something we need to try to do. So, anybody got any
But I know
questions?
all of us got calls because we were like, have you heard something? You know, we got it, you know, and and again, you know, thank you for letting us know, and you're correct, it's not something that you had to, you know, send to us. But then when it was all said and done, they were going, can we drink the water now? And I go, I don't know, good question, let me find out.
Well, sorry about that. I'll try to remember that in the future if I have to.
I said, the mayor's gonna send us something when it's ready. Because we got a text from him that said that it was the
I gave you
boil.
bad news, didn't give you the good news. I'm sorry. So, okay. Anybody got any questions for tonight? Anything else you want to say about this? She asked if she could come just explain what happened and everything. They were on top of it just as quick as they could, and they actually got it fixed very rapidly as far as getting the water and the pressure and everything. But the problem is having to get all that chlorination testing done, and you gotta let it all get to the very end of the system and take the samples and then carry them to Little Rock, and take 24 hours to get the lab up there to give you a, you know, a green light or a red light on the boil water. Okay, thank you.
Thank y'all.
Thank you for letting me know that.
All right, council members,
One more question, Mayor, about
oh
the
yeah,
report.
sure.
On the biochar, how would a person get an application, or how would they apply?
Right now, because they don't have a, you know, an office or anything set up out there just yet, and there's not somebody here all the time, I would suggest you just get it to my office, and I'll make sure I get it to them.
Thank you.
Now, at some point, they'll be taking applications and what have you out there, but anyway, yes ma'am.
Okay, and I have a question about the Gregg property.
Mhm.
In the last meeting, you mentioned about contractors for different, jobs available?
That's not the Greg's property, that is the intermodal site, the Warehouser Company.
Okay, is that still available?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. can
That
you-
information needs to get sent to the Monticello Economic Development
Okay,
Office. It's Nita McDaniels, because she's the lead coordinator on bringing the company in.
okay,
And what she's talking about is they want people that might have an interest in being a contractor or subcontractor on building the plant.
mm-hmm,
That's what they're looking for, because they're gonna vet everybody,
mm-hmm.
that desires to do anything once they get the project going.
Okay, so don't contact you, contact who?
Well, I'll tell you what, if you'll get it to me, I'll make sure she gets it. That'll make it easier.
Also economic development.
But I'd be happy to take it and make sure she gets it.
Is it a deadline?
No, ma'am,
Okay,
just soon, I'd do it as soon as I could, and try to get it all in their hands.
and this is electricity, this is roofing, this is
This is-
paint, this is,
Could be anything dealing with building a mill,
okay.
dirt work,
Like the contract, if they got
Stuff like that.
contractors,
yeah.
they can make a bid.
Okay, we go to item 6B, council members. Does anybody on the council have somebody you need to recognize to speak? I'll see if anybody signed in back there. Where's my list?
Nobody said,
Where's Teresa?
they didn't have it up there. They just put it out, but nobody signed it.
Is Teresa out there? I need her. I'll get back here to that list and see if we got anybody signed in to speak at the council meeting. Just- Yeah, see what you got. No, I'm not talking about the list from the public hearing. Is there another, should be another list there? Is there a list for somebody to sign in to speak? That's what I was checking to see if
They
anybody
used to have that up there from the
had. Nobody?
Nobody.
Okay, very good. We'll proceed on. All right, well, we got one group. We got one group that notified us they were gonna be here tonight. And that is, some of our students from East Lab, and I'm correct on that, right? Okay, I don't know if all of you want to come up, or it's just whoever's gonna speak, but we need you to just come up to the, podium, you just go around there, step right up to the podium there. They've got a project they want to talk about, city council, and I think I think we hand this out at the agenda meeting. There's a deal you've got about what is it called?
Safe haven. baby.
Safe haven,
Baby
yeah.
box.
We're ready. Introduce yourself, your name, and then make whatever comments you want to do.
My name is Uziel Gomez, and I came with my East classmates, and we're here to present our project, the Baby Box.
Okay?
And this is Jaden, and this is Monty right here.
Do y'all have anything y'all want to say? Who's going to make the presentation? Go ahead. You're recognized. Go right ahead.
Thank you. We've been working with Chief Moore, Miss Wendy Curry at Hope Place, and Miss Leslie Hewitt at the hospital. We have their full support to continue this project. We have decided the box will be placed at the fire station, and we're seeking your approval to move forward, since we have to cut a hole in the wall of the fire station.
So we had found a grant that will pay for 50%, but for us to, I guess, qualify or get the grant, we would have to send the entire amount together, and then we'd be reimbursed. We are asking for y'all $7,500, and we understand and acknowledge that the budget has already been set and is very tight. But we already have pledges from companies and organizations, and we would raise the other half.
Okay. Are you asking the city for some money?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Oh, you said you had pledges and some other things.
For our half that we're gonna pay for, we're asking for the other half.
What's the estimated total?
$1,500.
No, the whole project, the whole project.
$15,000.
Okay, 15,000, and you're got a
A
grant
that will
that'll
pay,
pay half of it.
that will reimburse us half.
You gotta pay for all of it on the front end?
Yes, sir.
Okay, was my understanding, and then you will get reimbursed
Yes, sir.
for half of it.
Yes, sir.
So you're asking the city council for?
The other half.
Okay.
have to be
We're gonna raise
reimbursed.
half, and we're asking y'all for the other half, cause y'all would be the ones being reimbursed.
So the grant would have to go through the city of Warren, is what you're saying?
Yes, ma'am.
So we wouldn't be out any money in the end.
No, ma'am, y'all would be reimbursed. We're just asking
I
for y'all
got
to help us.
Okay,
So we're upfronting $7,500.
Yes, ma'am.
And then the grant would reimburse $7,500, and then you have already promised to you from various businesses and
Yes, ma'am.
individuals $7,500.
Which you would in turn give back to the city, then, I guess, is what you would do.
Yes, I mean, yes, sir.
What else? I'm gonna ask, the fire chief has been talking with them about this for some time, so I want him to make some comments too. But Chief, let me get them to explain just a little bit more. It would be a place, y'all help me here, they've talked to me about this, so I think I'm saying this right. It would be a place where people that just had a baby and they just weren't able or capable or what, explain that and then how it would work.
So, already the fire station hospital are safe haven, I would say verified, like someone can walk in and give up their newborn. The baby box itself is a private kind of giving up, so let's, like Chief Moore, say a mother walks in and she's giving the baby to Chief Moore. Chief Moore knows that face, he might be like, ugh, in public, and she don't want to feel like that. The box is just a privacy thing. It is very like up to date, and it's heated, it's cooled, it's pressured, so like if some teenager would come up and open the door, they would know if it's an actual baby or if it's a prank. There's also a silent alarm that would notify the dispatch, so they would be able to go up and get the baby in a safe amount of time. So the baby's not sitting in there for an hour, 2 hours.
And the child, the baby is put in from the outside.
It's put in,
And it's,
and once that door is closed, it's locked. Like no one can, like a creep from the shadows can't walk up, open and get the baby.
And if you're wondering about the fire station, help me with the numbers. 52 babies were surrendered in
Over
Arkansas.
the past 6 years, 52 babies have been surrendered to boxes across the country, actually.
But 40-something of them all came to fire stations.
Yes.
And I saw where one of the firefighters adopted one of the babies and kept it for 5 years, and then the mother.
Don't be prophesying nothing. Don't be bringing nothing into existence.
Honorable for him.
Right.
He could have finished it.
I have a question. Okay, so would this be available for other cities, that surrounds us? Because looking,
Yes.
okay, so it's not just designated for Bradley County.
No, ma'am. The
Okay.
reason we want to have it in Warren is because we're dead middle permitted to Monticello. Miss Wendy Curry has told us that she's had people come down here from Monticello getting help from them. And so, we just decided, it's accessible to everyone, because Southeast Arkansas doesn't have one. I mean, El Dorado does, but that's an hour travel. And some might not have the resources to make that travel, and just decide to leave it, in it up.
Excellent concept, excellent, and much needed.
now, the first thing is done is the baby is taken to DHS or
Hospital.
The
the
hospital.
hospital.
Yes.
And then it goes from there as far as what's.
They're mandated.
A new thing we found out about the box, there's actually a bag that goes in it that the mother fills out information to know from the father or mother's side if they've had any medical history, diabetes, cancer, heart problems, so we know once the baby goes into the foster care what to look for in the future if some medical problems come up.
Yeah, Ms. Tolfree.
Key term in this, I think, is, newborn.
Yes.
Cause I think once you get to a certain age,
30 days.
yeah, it turns into abandonment, then it's charged.
Good point. Do y'all get the They gave you some written material, I think.
So I think you answered my question. So when the baby's put in the box, who's the next? I know the fire department would get, well, who's the next? Would be case manager? And then with the baby go, I mean, Warren doesn't have a neonatal care anymore, correct? So where would the baby go?
Probably
Hospital.
Monticello.
Well, it goes to the hospital first.
Anything that they couldn't give, it would go to Monticello.
Mayor, I move that we refer this to the Ways and Means since it's dealing with dollars and the two committee members agree.
I second.
Is there a date of when you have to
Whoa,
know?
I got a motion and a second.
Oh, I'm
I'm sorry. Didn't want to try to cut you off,
You're fine.
but we got a motion and a second. They want to put it in the committee, and of course, y'all will be able to meet with the committee if you know, you want to and everything. I told you this might, be the way it had to be done. Motion was, Dorothy, and seconded was,
Ms. Mosley?
who seconded it?
Oh,
Ms. Tolfree did, I'm sorry, Ms. Tolfree seconded it.
To send it to Ways and Means.
No, Community and Economic Development, did you say Ways and
Ways
Means?
and
She said
I'm
Ways and
sorry,
It's dealing with
okay.
money, isn't it?
Yes, definitely. Okay, Ways and Means, that's what we're
And
doing.
we're gonna have a meeting coming up soon, so you'll
Yeah.
hear about
You
it.
know, try not to, she's telling you they're not gonna drag it out, they're gonna.
And no,
look at it
they're
and
under no
consider it.
deadline. I don't think you're under a deadline. They're waiting on us.
We're
basically.
hoping to get it done, kind of ultimately set in and the grants done went through by May. Because we were trying to make this a year project, but we can probably talk about it and stretch it out a little bit if needed.
All right, I got a motion and a second to assign it to the Ways and Means Committee. So, council, we're back in your hands now. What is, any question or discussion of that motion? All in favor, show of hands, please. Okay, 6 in favor, so we'll go. Would the other members of East Lab just hold your hand up so they can see who all is here? And Miss Peyton Reed, I'll get that correct, is, I guess she's their leader, their teacher, and she's back there in the back, but, they've been working on this, and it's to the point this is what they wanted to try to put together, and so that's why they came to talk to you. Okay?
Great presentation.
Thank you very much. We will be back in touch with you about the meeting and everything, okay? Thank you. All right, thank you, Council. All right, I'm gonna see if I can move along here. Police Chief. Anybody out there? We're gonna try to move through these. We'll certainly ask any questions, but we're gonna try to move here. Chief, you have the floor.
That's private.
I didn't say you was on the floor, I said you had the floor.
Good evening.
Good evening.
The one thing I would like to do to call you guys' attention is the personnel situation in the police department as far as our staffing. If you notice in our monthly report that we are saying that we are 2 patrolmen short, and the number's a little skewed because someone can get the numbers what it is. We're budgeting staff for 15. Right now we're sitting on 12 certified officers and 12 certified officers working full-time for us, and 4 that's working part-time. So if the 12 is working full-time, it was too short on making that 14 rather than 15. But the reason I'm saying too short is because with the 4 part-times that we have, they make up for the 1 officer. We need to use them because they have to work a certain amount of hours in order to keep their certifications. So if we'll get those other 2 slots, or even 1 of them, we should be in good shape. The number, like I said, is skewed a little bit due to the fact that we have 2 that's in the academy getting their certification, and we have 1 that's still out on a suspended medical leave, and we don't anticipate when he's coming back. But to be honest with you, we don't know if he's going to make it back. He had a pretty serious surgery. But so, just want to make those numbers straight, just in case you guys were doing the math and was wondering, how we 2 short and only have 12 officers with 15 staff.
Okay. Chief, they've got your January 2025 report, and then I think they've got a 2024 year-end report as well. That should all be in your packets. So please make sure you got that so you can,
And his tracker looks great. The repair tracker, $706.
Well, again, that's thanks to you guys being kind enough to get us those 3 new vehicles last year, and it kind of kept our maintenance down a little bit, so,
That helps.
yes, ma'am, it does. No.
Any questions for the chief on anything with the police department? Anything at all?
Hey, I'm gonna go back to the radar log. This isn't like the total number of radar logs of 15. That's not how many times people were,
No,
that the officers used the radar,
no,
right?
ma'am. We apologize to you for that. I will get that corrected. If it's still saying radar log on top of it, we get that page real quick. That is not actually the radar log. That has metamorphosized to what that is over a speeding ticket that the officers read.
Okay.
That the radar log is kept to, when we have problem areas, where the officers have to log that, I was that running radar.
Oh, okay.
Some kind of way this kind of metamorphosis, those are speeding tickets that you see, those numbers you see on that radar log.
Okay,
And I'll get that title changed.
thank you.
Okay. Other questions? Okay.
Thank you.
Chief, thank you. All right, Councilmember Burks Frazier, do you have anything
No,
you want to talk about at this point with your committee?
No, sir, the police committee didn't have a meeting this month.
Okay. All right, fire chief, back for regular fire business here. They've got your reports.
And I just want to say those kids are scared to death, and I appreciate y'all being nice to them.
Are you saying we're not numbers?
No, ma'am, I'm just saying they were sweating. They were sweating coming up here. They didn't know what to expect. So I appreciate y'all. That was wonderful. And they did come up with that project all on their own, so.
It's an excellent.
Great.
It is,
Great.
it is.
Great. Okay, we had 3 calls come out to the entire department during the month of January. 1 electrification call and 2 structure fires. We had our regular meeting on January the 6th, 23 members present. And that is all I have.
I think they've also got a 2024's one-page report, but I think they've got
Okay, the year
information in there about for the year 2024. You should look at that. Chief, I always ask this, but just to make sure everybody knows, we've got 3 full-time firemen, all positions are filled, and we've got how many volunteers?
31 right now.
And how many, we got any vacancies? All right, we got 2 openings for anybody that would be interested, and be qualified to be and take the training that's necessary and so forth, to be a volunteer fireman. Our volunteer fire department is vital to our fire department. We can't fight fires with just 4 people, okay? And I mean, you just can't do that. Big fires, I mean, you can put out a grass fire maybe every once in a while, but big fires, house fires, structural fires, that volunteer fire department, they train monthly. They get a little stipend for showing up. They don't get a salary. They are true volunteers, and we depend on them greatly, and we got a good bunch. We really do.
They get a small stipend.
A small stipend. What I call it? I call it something else. Okay, anyway. They do get something if they show up at the meeting or show up at a fire. They get as I guess we used to refer to it, a little gasoline money, because they have to come in their own vehicle, so. Any questions for the fire chief? Stay put there, chief.
It's good to see that we utilize the American Rescue dollars for the year.
Absolutely.
All right, Mr. Toll-Free, I don't think your committee's met, but we do have this Arkansas State Firefighters Association. This is an annual thing. It's, you should have something there for you. It might not be in your packet, but in some of that extra stuff that was there.
Well, Mayor, I would like to make a motion that, on the Arkansas State Firefighters Association dues, which is 32 firefighters at $20 per fighter, for a total of $640, that the city pay those dues.
Second.
All Got a motion, Mr. Tollfree, seconded Councilmember Henderson, to approve payment of those firefighter dues. This is an annual deal, it's beneficial to us. Question or discussion? All in favor, show of hands. I see 6 in favor, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Tollfree.
Got one more thing I was
Oh,
about
yeah,
to
sure,
say.
go ahead.
You know, so many times I think people, when they leave the community and go to purchase something or do other things in the community, they don't realize that that is hurting our public services department. That contribution that we don't get from us kind of puts us at a bad place as much benefit as we do. Because our fire station, as well as they are equipped, it affects everybody in this room that has a house. Because our SO rating is lowered the higher it gets. What's the higher we can go, Chief?
We're a 3, we can go to a 1.
So everything we can do to affect,
We're a 3.
so we need to do everything we can do to affect our
Best
SO
would be
rating
the 1.
to be able to benefit everybody in the room. I just wanted to thank you.
You make a very valid point, and I tell you, that rating is made based on numbers of firefighters, equipment, training capabilities, and your water system is also affected by that. So, not that many years ago, we were 7. We've come down to 3. That's been a number of years ago. Okay, anything else for the fire chief or Ms. Tollfree?
That's it. That's concluded.
Let's move on to sanitation manager, Mr. Johnson, would you step in and, I don't know what all they've got here for you, from you. Some of it's building code stuff and some of it's solid waste, but anyway, go ahead.
Right. Got the report, if anybody has any questions, let me know. We are currently at full staff in the sanitation department. And we also are full on our part-time CDL and our part-time floor. Gives us a total of 10 in the sanitation department. Everybody's doing a fantastic job.
Rob, you got to the January 2025 written report. Building, how many cars, junk cars you've removed? Would you just real quick go over
Well,
that?
we fell down a little bit on the cars this month, the month of January. We didn't remove but 5. We spent about 30 hours picking up paper, picking up paper on different streets. We serviced 13 homes with limb pickup, 32 homes with junk pickup, and we actually had 2 properties that were mowed and cleaned up this month at the time it ran out on them. And they actually got it done before the time ran out, I'm sorry. And that's where we are there.
Council members, I told you at the agenda meeting, but I want to say it officially at this meeting. Y'all know we've been working on what we can do to carry people to court, district court, for violation of our unsightly and unhealthy and grown up and dilapidated structures, which we still have a lot of in the community. As much as we've cleaned up, and we have done a lot over the last couple of years, there's still way too much more to do. So one of the things, and of course we've spent a lot of money doing it, we've got a lot of liens filed on property, which we may or may not ever get collected. But as y'all know, we're trying to get to the point we can start issuing citations and carry people to district court, and with a conviction, get them fined or get a court order that they got to do certain things. And we're to the point, we got with the prosecuting attorney, he helped come up with some amendments to our existing ordinances that will give us more authority to do that. That's in the hands of the city attorney, and we're just reviewing it to make sure everything's in order. We will try to have you something to act on that part of it in March. Okay, so we can use that method of trying to get some of this stuff done, because just quite frankly, we about run out of enough money. I hate to say that publicly, because some people hear that, they're gonna say, well, they're not gonna do nothing to me to clean something up. We are using Rob's guys, that people will get a lot of this junk, limbs and junk, out to the street corners. We got the capability now with the boom truck to get a lot of it, we can just pick it up ourselves, which we'll do. It don't really cost us any extra money to do that. So, you know, it's just the time and the cost to operate the truck, but we're doing that anyway. So we're trying to get that done. We have to follow the law. State law says how you gotta do all this stuff, but we gotta put it in our local ordinances as well. So, just so everybody knows that, because y'all know there's several pending, that we still gotta act on, that you've already ordered, cleaned up, and, you know, we've told the people to get it done. Some work's going on, but it's slow, and in some cases, am I being fair to say it's stopped?
Yes,
They work on it for a couple of weeks and then they just stop. So we're gonna have to do something different. So, anybody got any questions on any, solid waste? Huh? Oh, yes, ma'am, I'm sorry, Mr. Victor, go ahead.
I am confused, are we on G?
Well, I guess I did jump down there, I'm sorry. But no, actually, we were supposed to be on F.
Okay, well,
But I was just giving an overall talk about the,
well, since you were on G talking about number 3, it was 2 addresses that I wanted added to that condemned list. And that was 900 Watson Street.
we've started the process, which has to be notification of them with so many days first.
Okay,
Then it comes back to the city council if nothing gets done.
okay,
And those are both in the works.
okay.
Yeah, okay?
Thank you.
Let me, but I'm glad you straightened me out on what order I'm in. We're to the sanitation committee. Councilmember Atkins, you're recognized, item F.
Thank you, Mayor. The sanitation committee met on January 21st, and we also met on February 3rd. At the January 21st meeting, we had Mayor Reed, Councilmember Toll-Free, our water manager, Ms. Sellers, sanitation manager, Mr. Johnson, and also myself. Councilmember Cooper was unavailable to attend. At the January 21st meeting, we had Ms. Sellers there just to give a little bit more background and clarity about the Act 605 rate study, which everybody heard from today, and what that was going to look like, or the expected expense that we will incur within the next year. She said this afternoon about $12 on average. We've got 4 items on our agenda. Number 1 is the recycling grant. It was proposed in our December meeting to place the recycling bin in a different location than where we were thinking about, which was beside the pool on Rock Street. So, in our meeting, I did go by and take a picture of what could be a possible location on Central versus Rock. Mr. Johnson is not on board with it because he says the traffic flow, because of traffic, and then it's going to incur us some more costs. There's not anything we need to act on tonight, but we are going to get a bid on how much it will cost to put the recycling bin there versus beside the pool on Rock Street. We have a $12,000 grant, just for everybody to know, to add another recycling bin. But there's nothing for us to act on at this time.
Could I throw one other thing in the pot? Because I haven't, you don't know this, so that's why I wanted to throw it in there. Rob and I have also been talking. We think we may have another site that might be doable within the grant, and that would be over at the Senior Citizens Center on Etheridge Street, which belongs to the city. Property belongs to the city. We're going to get you some information about that too, so y'all can just look at that as well.
Sounds good. Item number 2 is our overtime. So during our analysis of our previous year, 2024, of revenue and expenditures, one of our most notable controllable expenses is overtime. So in an effort to mitigate that cost and the rising cost of solid waste, the committee agreed unanimously to discontinue holiday pickups and then also only business containers on Saturday. So we're looking at only one employee that will be incurring overtime. We know we can't eliminate all overtime, but we want to keep it down to the very minimal. And as we discussed, most people don't even realize we do holiday pickup. So I don't think we didn't think that's going to pose a big issue. But we are going to keep a look on it to make sure that we are not disrupting the flow with how we are disposing of it. Rob, if you want to interject anything.
Oh, yes, ma'am, we're just gonna, it's a cycle you've gotta get in or get out of, and you gotta communicate with the people that remove trash from Warren. We take to a transfer station out on the Banks Highway, and we have containers that we put it in, and then they transfer it to El Dorado. It's a process, and they like to stay ahead of us by keeping containers. And it's just something we're gonna have to adjust to, because right now they're picking up a certain amount of garbage, a certain number of days, based on the amount that we pick up, number of days that we pick up. So it'll just be an adjustment when the time comes, that we feel like we'll be able to handle. We believe. We'll see.
We'll see, we'll keep an eye on it. We'll jump in.
We're gonna need a motion on that y'all, the council does not want us to pick up right now. You can always change it, but right now, that you want us to stop our collection on holidays, if you would.
Just the holidays, not the Saturday?
No, well, you can say you're okay with that.
Okay.
I mean, you don't have to vote on that part, but
Okay.
you're telling us it's okay with it, for us to do it, but I want some direction from the council on the holiday pickup.
Did we have a motion to put the holiday pickup in place?
I don't think so.
No, ma'am, no, the way the ordinance is written, it's based on my feeling, and and then once we read that, I talked to all the employees to make sure everybody was on board. If anybody who wanted would eliminate all of it. Everybody wanted to work because of the pileup you get after a holiday. But y'all, I mean, it was my decision to go into overtime with the agreement of the employees. And in the ordinance, I don't have to ask. I can do it if I want to,
So I'm confused as to why we need to do.
Because we think overtime has been a big issue, you know, with how much we're spending, because, so everybody understands, let's just say it's whatever holiday it is, and the city's closed down as far as the municipal building and so forth. Well, the garbage guys, in the past, they've been closed down too. We haven't always done this, you know, picking up on the holidays. But because the employees are off, they still get paid because it's a paid holiday for even being off. But when we work them on a holiday, they then get paid their regular pay plus overtime. And that's what's been running up we've been spending a lot of money doing that. And we understand everything, you know, the concerns and everything, but I wanted the council to give me their, you know, what they thought we ought to do, because it's a financial matter. And, no, we could, you know, I'll do what y'all tell me to. And it is a cost. It's a big cost to us, and we're in a, as we know, a tight situation financially, and so we will save some money not doing this. But I felt like it was something the council ought to give us your thoughts on, rather than us just make a decision on it. We're not going to ask you to adopt an ordinance or nothing like that, just, you know, give us your expression that you think we should not be spending that overtime money and try to work it out otherwise.
So you just want to poll from the council that they're in agreement?
I want to vote, but if y'all don't want to vote, that's fine, but I would like you at least tell me what you think we ought to do.
I think that's a day-to-day managerial task. I mean, for the council council to say no overtime, I mean, that's just not making, I'm not comprehending, I'll just say it like that.
Well, it's a financial matter.
So do you want us to say, no pickup, no trash pickup on holidays?
Yes.
Or no overtime?
No trash pickup on holidays, unless y'all decide you want to change your mind sometime in the future,
Right,
which you can do anytime.
Overtime.
right.
We're trying to cut out,
Spent last
the
year.
purpose is to cut out overtime
Sure.
and a substantial amount of
Sure,
cost.
but we're not saying, I think we're complicating, but we're not saying no overtime.
That's correct.
We're just saying no trash pickup on holidays.
Yes.
But like my trash pickup's on Monday, so it's not like if I miss Monday, I just miss Monday, the next pickup is Thursday. Like trash doesn't have to come back around on Tuesday to pick up my trash that should have been Monday,
Right.
right? So,
That's correct. And the committee, correct me, Councilmember Atkins, but your committee is recommending that's what we do, to cut it out, right?
Yes.
Now, if y'all don't want to vote on it, I'd at least like to know your opinions on it, all
But
of
we
you.
didn't put it in place, I mean.
No, ma'am, but it is a monetary issue. I've had nothing but requests to cut out overtime. Because, and it's a legitimate question, and a legitimate position, and I just want to know what the council feels like the policy ought to be. Now, if y'all don't want to vote on it, I'll make the decisions. I'll do it, whatever needs to be done. Yeah.
So am I understanding that council's not in agreement with stopping holiday pickup?
Okay, in your committee, it was not necessary that we do the holiday pickup, correct?
Right.
So, the administration carries that out.
Okay.
If you're saying it's not necessary.
So it's nothing for the council.
I'm not for it. It's a lot easier on the guys on the truck to work the holidays. And it's a lot easier on the equipment if the guys work the holidays. But
We're having another committee meeting is what we're doing, so Rob's made it clear to me his feelings. But I gotta worry about the money,
Right.
okay? I gotta worry about the money
Right.
and the cost. And he understands that, I'm not saying he doesn't, it's just, and he makes some very valid points. If y'all don't wanna vote on it, I got,
Make a motion.
I move that we discontinue all holiday pickup, revisit it as needed.
Second.
okay, I got a motion and second, the council's making a policy decision that we're not to work overtime on holidays unless you change that in some way. That's an appropriate motion, is there any discussion?
She said as needed, unless needed.
Well, if we had some,
like Christmas or something
Yeah,
like that.
That's what we're thinking
I
about.
understand, I can accept,
Festival and things of that nature.
but I just want you to know, you're giving me the authority to do it, one way or the other.
Call for the vote.
That's okay, I'm just, want to be clear.
Somebody had the authority to put it in place.
Yes, ma'am, but you can also undo stuff, so. All right. Any other discussion? I'm gonna have to ask if we got conversations that need to be going on, please step outside. I think it's a little noisy here, and we're having trouble hearing some. I just appreciate it if you just work with us on that. I got a motion and a second. Is there anything else? Any comment or discussion on it? I will try to take your feelings into consideration and, take a look at when they may need to do it, may not need to do it sometime, but we'll, generally speaking, we would not do it. All in favor, show of hands. I see 6 in favor. Thank you. Okay, very good. Go ahead,
Thank you.
Councilmember Atkins.
I'm gonna jump down to item number 4, the finance of the garbage truck. So we are, our lease is up, and it's time to renew the lease. In your packet, you have 2 bids, one from Commercial Bank at 4.8 6% interest on a $239,900 loan to purchase a 2024 Peterbilt 537 truck with a 24-month term and a balloon payment. And then we have one from Cadence at 5.22%. So the committee is recommending that we go with our local bank, Commercial Bank.
Is that a motion?
I move that we accept the bid from Commercial Bank for 4.86% at 24 months with a balloon payment.
Second.
And I think Councilmember Burt Frazier got the second in there. Council, we got a current truck, we're leasing most of our equipment now to buy. But under the terms, after a certain period of time, the company will come back in and pay off that note. That's what they're doing, right, Rob? They're paying off an older truck, and they'll take that back. They'll probably refurbish it and try to sell it as a used truck. But then we get a new one, based on these terms. And what we're trying to do is keep new equipment on an ongoing basis. If you pay this stuff off in cash, you're spending an awful lot of money, and then on the other side, after about 2 years, your maintenance and upkeep and repairs will eat you alive, and you're still paying for the equipment. So that's what we're doing here. Question or discussion on the motion? All in favor, show of hands. Okay, I see 6 in favor. Okay, we need to go back to item 3 there.
Yes, so the final item is item 3, which is the proposal for the solid waste increase. So I just want to start with saying, in October, when we brought an ordinance and a proposal for recommendation to the council, I rescinded that, and I made a commitment that I would analyze and review all the revenue and expenditures before I even move forward to bring back a recommendation or proposal to the council, and we've done that. Went back from 2021 all the way to 2024, and simply put, our expenses for solid waste has increased over 300%. So just to give you a number, in 2021, we spent $758,000 in expenses. Last year, we spent $1,067,489,000. $1 million, from $758,000 to $1 million. And our garbage fees have remained flat for the last 4 years. I believe you heard Ms. Sellers say earlier that the last increase, and it's the same for our trash, was in 2017. And so I've given the council, I've shown how the expenses have changed, also with the overtime, but I gave 4 different recommendations to the council about how we can help mitigate this or come out of operating at a deficit budget. So either a $3 increase, and this is different from when we were talking about $2 and going down to $1 once a week pickup with the purchase of the cans, larger cans. So this maintains our services. But $3 increase, which would take us to $20, because everybody's flat fee is $17 right now. Or $5 increase, which would take us to $22, or $5 increase plus a $2 increase in recycling, which is $25. That would increase our minimum rate to $25 in trash and recycling. Now, the committee is not unanimous on it, and even as late as today, the committee is asking to keep this item on our agenda and review it even further. So
Well, you certainly can do that. You are now going to be in a deficit budget situation, and you're going to be in violation of the law. Now, we'll have a few months before that'll hit us, but it will. And this is, of course, council members, y'all know that when we first came to you, back, I should, Councilmember Atkins mentioned this. We came to you and we said we were proposing that we go to a 1 pickup a week residential system. Still gotta have a little bit more money, but thought we could cut our expenses more and maybe have to raise less. And, talked about that at length. We still, now some commercial, we gotta pick up more than 1 time a week. You got to, it's too much of it. You can't handle it. We're the only city in South Arkansas, other than Crossett, southeast Arkansas, that picks up 2 times a week in southeast Arkansas. Council looked at that, the committee did. I understood y'all got some pushback from the public, about they want to keep 2 pickups a week. We cannot keep doing 2 pickups a week and not put this increase in, or you're gonna be in serious trouble in just a couple of months. And I will, by law, have to be laying people off or cutting something out. Now, we don't have an option. I've been over this over and over and over again. We don't have an option not to have a solid waste system. State law says we're gonna have one of some kind. And I think we got a pretty good one, but unfortunately it is, and I'll tell everybody, the cost that's gone up so drastically is the landfill. Rob, what are we paying annually for landfill, in round figures?
It's $88 a ton, Mayor, I'm not familiar on the month.
Okay, $88 a ton, where it used to be practically nowhere near that. That's, we're dealing with a private company. We can't build a landfill. You're talking about millions of dollars to build a landfill for Class 1 garbage. So what we do is we collect our own, we carry it out there on the Banks Highway, compacted in our compactor, which will probably cost $100 grand to replace, is about shot. We're having to drive some of it. We have to carry it over to Union County. They'll take it, no problem, but they're gonna charge you $88 a ton for doing it. And we finally got a deal cut with Ashley County. The county, they have a landfill. They will do it cheaper, but they'll only take so many tons a month from us because they're not going to fill their landfill up with somebody else's garbage, because they can't afford to build a new one either. They're trying to stretch it out as long as they can. We need this increase, or we're in a financial crisis on getting rid of garbage. Now, I know nobody wants to do this, and y'all, if you want me to be the bad guy, I'm the bad guy, but I can add and subtract. And I see where we are financially. We've got to do something, unless y'all got another idea. And I'm not trying to be stubborn or anything like that about this. We've been over this and over this and over this. We've got to do something. We got to have more money for solid waste, or we got to cut back on something and do something, because it's all coming out of the general fund. You're taking money away from other departments when we're supposed to be financing the solid waste system on its own. Now, if you want to phase it in, that would be better than nothing, you know, in some amount. But to just keep kicking the can down the road is not fixing to leave the city in a good position. Now, in fact, it's going to cause some serious problems financially. I'm sorry, I've said what I want to say, so you go ahead with whatever recommendation you want to make.
Thank you for that, Mayor, but I also want to add that, as he was talking about the Ashley County, we're not self-sufficient either. So this is just us trying to not operate in the red. So we're still having to depend on El Dorado and Ashley County to take care of our disposal. Nobody wants this, absolutely didn't want this, but we have not touched this in over, 7 years, 8 years? And again, the expenses continue to rise, but the fees have not. So we will convene one more time, committee, and come back with a final recommendation to the council in March. So we'll keep that one item, and the recycling grant. That ends my report.
Thank you. All right, building official, Rob, you got anything else you want to talk about that? And I think they've got copies of the permits that's been sold, and I kinda jumped ahead earlier on some of that other stuff, so we'll just move on past that unless somebody's got a question. All right, let's get to our street foreman. Is he out there? He called me this afternoon. Monty's not feeling very good, and I told him I'd let him speak from the doorway there, but if y'all got any questions for him, don't come here and breathe on me. Stay back out there. I'm picking at him, everybody. I'm picking at him, but he is not feeling real well. Well, I didn't know this till about 10 minutes before the meeting was supposed to start. A little bit more than that. Do y'all have any questions for him?
No, go home.
And you're not getting extra pay either, so don't worry about it. But anyway, I'm picking at him.
He's an exempt employee.
I'm kicking at him, I know. Street committee, Councilmember Mosley.
Okay, we have the $300,000 grant for streets. And have they said when they would do, or just?
You want me to briefly explain that for everybody? I think y'all got it at the agenda meeting, but you know, we got a grant that was funded about a year ago or so from the State Highway Department for a special program they got for city streets, not highways. The council had selected parts of, or three streets or parts of those streets. I think it was Cook, South Bradley, and Fullerton. And they gave us $300,000. Well, the highway department's doing all this. They bid it out. They're not just giving us the money. They're bidding it out and gonna pay for the paving to be done and everything. I mean, basically, they doing it all. Well, they didn't like the bids they got back in 2024, and they rejected them and said, well, we're gonna rebid it. So they did finally. And they called me recently and said, okay, we're okay with this bid. You got $300,000. The estimated cost, the bid, of course, everything's by the ton, however many tons of asphalt you put down, is $368,000. Now, we're not giving you $68,000 more dollars. You either just slim your project back a little bit, or you gotta take it out of your own pocket. And of course, we've got a little bit of money budgeted for city streets in general, not a lot for this coming year. And I think the general consensus was to just do see how far 300,000 will go.
Yes, see how far.
And then we'll see where we are. So that's my understanding. So Chief wanted y'all to know that. And I don't think you could even got to vote on anything unless you want to appropriate $68,000 to meet your contract. So. Well, I didn't mean to be, but maybe I am anyway, Councilmember Henderson. All right.
The committee chose to go with, just stay with the 300,000.
You don't have to vote on nothing, we'll just do that, but if you want to do something different, then you're gonna have to vote on it, that's the bottom line. Anybody? Okay. And now you also got the guidelines on the dedication of streets, y'all working on that?
We are working on that, and I do have some suggestions on it, so we will have a committee meeting pretty quick and see what we can come up with.
Okay. All right. Yes, ma'am, you got a question on the
Yes,
streets?
I have a question for Member Mosley. Going back in the notes, in September 2024, Miss Virginia Phillips came forward and she asked about 20 Melville and where it stood as far as getting the street paved. The mayor stated that the paving of the streets of 2024 had been completed and work was still ongoing to address the drainage issue on the street. My question is, where are we on this?
That's an administrative issue, that's not in the street committee. Tell you where we are, as I told her, she understands, she's been told. We had to get an easement across some private property. Okay, we had to get an easement. talked to the two property owners. And then we were gonna just go in there, we're gonna cut a ditch, basically is what we was gonna do. One of the property owners doesn't live here. When we got in touch with them, they said, we don't want an open ditch, we want an underground drainage system put in. Which, you know, goes from a few $100s of us going out there doing work to several $1,000s of work. And Miss Phillips has told me she was gonna talk to the property owner, she knows her, and see if, all we gotta do is get the easement signed to us, and we could have had this done months ago. But they won't do it. They won't sign the easement, because it's gotta go across existing private property. And I talked to her just not too long ago, a few days back.
Okay, that's the drainage issue.
That's the drainage.
What about the paving of?
That's up to the city council when they pick their new list of streets out for 2025, which they haven't done yet. One's a maintenance issue, one of them's street paving.
Correct me if I'm wrong. We had picked that out, but it was put on hold because they said they wanted to do the drainage project before we paved it.
That may be correct, Mr. Tolfree, I think you're right, but we were gonna go ahead and, you know, do this little drainage thing regardless. Because I think they're still already having trouble with the drainage and needed something done, and that's where we even had an engineer draw the plans up to cut the ditch, got all the things we needed to know what to do. We were gonna do it ourselves. And we just knew I had to get the easement from those two property owners, and one of them came back after we talked to them and said, nah, we're not gonna do that unless you put an underground drainage system in.
But
Now, that can be done, but it's gonna cost you much more money.
Well, thank you, Ms. Mosley and Mr. Tolfree, clear, thank you.
Okay. All right, anything else on the streets? All right, Parks and Recreation, Mr. Wagnon had to be out of town. Oh, you're here. Don't do that to me after you tell me not to. I'm just,
We lost again.
okay. He's doing a lot of youth coaching too, and I tried, but I didn't think he's gonna make it tonight. But anyway, y'all can notice we have moved his report to a different location, suggested to us. You got anything, first of all, you wanna tell them, and then we'll see if they got any questions for you.
No, the main thing with, depot is on the way, they're tearing out all the old rotten deck. They fixed 2 door jams and the trim around them and the locks, and now they're going replacing board by board all the, rotten boards on the deck, replacing those with the white oak flames, as what was originally there. So it's gonna be, they thought probably around 2 months it'll be closed until, that's when he thought he would be totally done.
Okay? Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to share that our city park is heavily utilized, and since I have some little ones now, I go down to the park and I noticed that the walking track lights, not the city, I mean, not the street lights, but those walking track lights, there's quite a few of them out. Saturday was a good day and there was lots of people and we stayed past.
Check that out. Seems like we have a lot of problems with what's going
Yeah,
on.
we've always had problems, so I don't know.
It's usually the breaker issue,
We need to get that fixed. We don't need to be having to do this over and over and over again or figure out what we got, but thank you for passing that on. I try to go down there once in a while and check it myself, but I hadn't lately. Rob, we need,
It's
Kyle,
where
we
the
need to.
equipment is, and then when you go down further, you know, but where the.
it's usually where the playground
It
area goes
is,
out. That's where it's.
Thank you. We'll certainly check on that. We need the lights to work. I think they got a 2024 report from you as well.
I put the Parks and Rec Commission meeting notes.
Yeah, you got Parks and Recreation, you got a report for the annual report, and you've got, I think, is it minutes from y'all have minutes of the Parks and Recreation Commission? Yes.
Yes.
Matter of fact, I noticed it said Warren Parks and Recreation Committee. That's incorrect. It's a commission. So, but anyway, y'all can see what's going on there. Anybody got any questions, Kyle? It's almost baseball, softball season. There will be lots of activities going on at the baseball complex. We've got it in, I think, pretty good shape, but we've got a few more things we gotta do to have it ready. Dirt work, grounds work, it has to be done regularly, and Kyle don't even know this, but I went out there over the weekend and walked around and got him a pretty good list of other things I know that I think we need to tinker with. It's just like the handicap parking places need to be repainted and some things like that. So just, there will be lots of activity going on out there once the season gets started. I know it's cold weather, but high school baseball and softball is played at the coldest time of the year sometimes.
There's one thing I'd like to say about the pool, and
Yes,
I was
ma'am.
looking through here, and I was at this meeting, but, we talked about working with local churches, trying to get more usage, at the city pool, but the next one, partnering with the school summer program. Last summer, I contacted the schools and was gonna let them, rent the pool at a minimal fee, and the schools cannot have any activity that deal with water, like bodies of water, like a swimming pool, a splash pad. They can't take any of their summer school programs to a pool. So that one we need to cross over, but just, so if you read that in question, we can't do that one, but, I just wanted you to be aware of that.
Any questions for Mr. Wagner?
I will say one thing, they have put us a floodlight on the light pole facing the pool.
Would have a new one?
Yeah.
Okay, very good, very good.
We have two or one now?
I think it's just the one main one, they put one on a new LED light, on the pole over by the fence line.
Fence line,
that they
okay.
cleaned up.
I wanna see if we can get another one on the opposite side. So like
They
that.
did get the new one put up.
Okay, well, let's check on the other one too and see. We talked about that this
Yeah.
morning, actually,
Yeah.
and I
Good.
did, so we'll try to get as much light for security and what have you as we can over there. All right, anything else? Question? Yes, ma'am.
I visited with the construction teacher at the CBAC
Mhm.
about that old softball field that's sitting right there. And, the kids have to get community service, so that might be a project that he's gonna take on with his kids, is to rebuild those bleachers and
On the west side?
Mhm.
We don't
No, we don't own that.
Oh,
We need
city
to check
don't own
with
it?
the
No.
Hospital.
A hospital owns that. Oh, well, somebody can get a project.
That's not part of our lease.
Yes, it's least, last time it was
I
done,
think
Rita's
that's
Hard.
part of our lease.
It is, Rita's Hard to fix the big bleachers.
We'll-
Yeah, but we don't have it anymore. When the hospital
Oh,
bought,
did that
That
get
we
taken
did.
away? Okay, I'm sorry.
They took them.
We
all.
only
At
had-
one time, we did.
Yeah, one time we did.
We
When-
tried to,
when Miss Pennington was Mayor Pennington, she found out we were having, who was gonna mow areas, and found out that the hospital, we only owned it, the city only has a few feet north of the city pool fence.
okay.
Because we're wanting the bleachers fixed because they look so bad.
Oh, it does, and we'd even gone out there years ago and put a bunch of backstops up so teams could just go over and practice.
Right.
You
So
know,
it's no longer able for us to attain that lease.
Sir,
It's no longer able for us to attain that
I
lease.
don't know.
But they took the mowing and everything about 3 years.
I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, that was under Mayor Pennington.
Yeah.
I was still operating under the
Yeah, we were too
assumption-
until we realized we were mowing the.
Well, I wish we
hospital's
could go back into that lease agreement.
Mayor, is that something you
Because
can
those
look
little
into?
kids like it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, any other questions? All right, now, we will get the Parks and Recreation Commission is down there under the Parks and Recreation Commission where you'll find the minutes for that, so just so you know. All right, let's move right into Community Economic Development. Councilmember Hooper, you're recognized, Chairman of the committee.
Yes, sir. Before I begin, Mayor, would it be okay if my order was changed from like number 2, we got the depot kitchen and renovation? Could the old street shop go at number 3?
Oh, you can go in whatever order you want.
Okay.
That's okay,
Okay.
sure.
Okay, but number 1, the Culture Center. Mayor, will you give us an update on the changes? and the new grant that you talked
Cultural
about?
Center?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Cultural
ma'am.
Center.
Well, we are actively trying to find money. I think everybody knows that. And I've got the development district in Pine Bluff really working, trying to find something. We think we might have a lead on some grant money from a Federal Emergency Management Agency, assuming there's anything to get in a few months. And that's a real assumption. I'm not making a joke when I say that. It's a real assumption because all kinds of stuff's happening right now. And I don't know what might happen, but if we can get $300,000-400,000, we think we might get some money to not only renovate it to the point it can be a community auditorium, a center like it has been, but also maybe be used as a place for disaster relief, for people to go to stay. There's several things we're looking at. We got to do the roof, the foundation, the heating and air, all that kind of stuff is what we're trying to get the grant money for. We're working 2 or 3 different angles, but that's what we're trying to do.
Yes, sir. I wanted you to
Sure.
elaborate on that, Pena, because, you know, it being a disaster building would be great.
We're trying to find something that'll give us some money.
Right.
We're trying to satisfy what they would require, that's the bottom line, and still have something similar to what we've got now to be used, but in an emergency situation could do other things.
Like the chairs in there taking
Yeah,
out.
one of the
chairs
concepts is
putting
to
in.
take all that seating out and have individual chairs that are just set up in there. Y'all remember that place seats 750 people, it's one of the bigger facilities in South Arkansas. And it's, there's a lot of people would like to have it usable, but if we can get the grant and make it usable for some other things, then we can, that's what we're looking at.
Okay, thank you. Okay, number 2, the depot kitchen and renovation, and I'm gonna combine that with the old street shop.
Sure.
I met with the contractor Shannon Gorman, along with Kyle and Joe, the first of the month. And as Kyle said, our work is in progress on both buildings, and everything will be completed within the next 2 months. That's what Shannon Gorman reassured me. Chairs and tables for the old street shop and the old armory are being searched by the mayor for a reasonable price. 2 large trash cans will be placed at all recreational facilities, and those could be those just recycled white bin wood trash, those barrels that you just cut the top off of.
Sure, we can come up
You know,
with
there's
some.
no price. Okay. It was discussed that the appliance for the kitchen be provided by donations or a fundraiser that's gonna be put in the depot. And then going forward with the depot and the old street shop, the committee discussed the rental properties and deposits being increased, and rules and guidelines and contracts be revised for 2025. We are still in discussion on that, and we will have a final answer on our next meeting. Okay, next on my list is the food truck. Is Mr. Rob here to give a report on the food truck?
He's ready to meet with your committee whenever you're ready to meet on it.
Okay. And with the food truck, everyone, Mr. Rob is researching and finding out how the other cities operate with the food trucks, because this is new to our town, and we want to make sure that we are giving the best guidelines, that we are up under the best policy for the food trucks. So that's where we at, that's the purpose of the food truck. Just saying, establishing rules and regulations, because this is new to Bradley County, where other towns, El Dorado, Pine Bluff, you know, they've been in operation with food trucks for a long time. So he's just researching and seeing what is best for us. Okay, number 5, the homeless and the unsheltered. It was discussed, about strong concern of our homeless people in our communities. And going forward, it was, agreed that an ordinance will be adopted, that camping out, napping in public places, cooking and making fires is unlawful. Mayor, this issue has been addressed for several months, and we ask that you have an ordinance in place by next month, please, meeting. Okay, number 6, the city website. Ms. Linda reported to us the updated page of the city website. The committee was pleased with, the changes that she had made. For the ones who don't know, we have a website page, and it's thecityofwarren.us. And you can go in there and find, information that's going on in Bradley County. And we are still revamping on that and revising it, that eventually, it was suggested by one of the councilmen that our picture be added and a short bio be added of every councilman, and along with the facilities that we rent out be put on the page. Pictures be taken of the facilities that we have available inside, exterior, and interior, and the prices and the amenities that that are available for these properties, so that people out of state, if they wanted to rent, reserve a place, that they could be able to go online and see all of this. So we are working on that. But you can go on Warren City, cityofwarren.us, and look at it now. It's really nice. Number 7, the downtown trees. The committee is going to set a special meeting and invite people of importance to this meeting to get more information on what type of trees, suggestions on how to go about the tree purchase. One suggestion was, and what we were talking about is replacing all the trees downtown. I think it's a total of 30 some trees that we want to replace downtown. We are researching to find the best or the nicest tree that is not so much maintenance required. We also are trying to contact, collaborate with a college of some sort to see what they maybe volunteer some service to help keep our trees up. This is a project that is costly, and we are thinking about, that's the purpose of the special meeting, to see if maybe asking people to donate, maybe want to purchase a tree in memory of their loved ones, and they would have a tree planted, and a plaque would be put beside that tree with your loved one's name on it. Okay, and number 8, Reverend Collins had visited us on last month in reference of a treehouse program that we're starting here in town. And he has withdrawn because he had asked could he use the depot. But since he talked with us, he have found a home, and I think that's going to be at the YMCA. So more information is coming about the treehouse program. We think that it's going to be a great program for the community and our young people. Mayor, I had 2 questions. The Old Martin Place on Main Street, where are we at on that?
The old Martin place.
Bryant Place.
Bryant. Kind of in a holding pattern. We've got some, an engineer that's willing to work for us for free. But I guess where we are is trying to figure out where we find some money to do something. The estimate that he gave us was $150,000 to make a parking lot / event center.
Okay.
And, no final decision is even made on that part, but it's sitting there and basically waiting for y'all, I guess, to decide what you want to try to do with it. And then how we pay for whatever it is you want to try to do.
Okay, thank you. We'll meet, the committee will meet.
Yes, ma'am.
And lastly, the solar land, Where are we at on the solar?
We're just waiting on them to start construction. Yeah, just wait, I mean, that's all done, it's just a matter of them getting out there, and it should be done this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you said that would be a revenue for us also, correct?
Well, it's gonna cut our electrical bill, we hope, it better. That's the whole concept, is for, we'll be generating our own electricity for city facilities. And that ought to help us some. I hope a lot.
But thank you, Mayor.
Yes, ma'am, thank you. Okay.
Mr. Topher had a question.
Oh, yes, sir, Mr. Topher.
Where are we at with the land purchase for the solar array for the district,
For the what now?
for the school district?
Oh, well, that's being handled by the school district and the company, the same company we're doing business with. They've already, agreed to a price. We're gonna get paid for it.
All right.
But we haven't been paid yet, but I mean, they're still, designing and getting all that wrapped up. Now, the school, if I understand right, just for total information here, the school's gonna have 2 sites. There's gonna be another site for some of their array. They're gonna put part of it out there, but part of it's gonna be on some other piece of property somewhere. But that's all been agreed to and in the works. Yes, sir. Okay? All right, anything else?
No, thank you.
Thank you. Ways and Means, Councilmember Henderson.
Thank you, Mayor. We have 3 items listed, and I would like to add 2 additional items. Number 4, city employees pay increase, and number 5, safe haven baby boxes.
Okay, are you gonna act on any of this tonight?
No, just wanted added.
Well, all we gotta do is just assign that to the committee, and it'll be on next.
We want it added to the agenda.
Okay, that's no problem. We don't have to, otherwise you're gonna act on it, but we got a vote to put it on there, so. Okay, I got you. We'll add those 2 things
We will
on.
not add. And it's listed here, new revenue on number 3, and I believe it should be guidelines to put a safety tax on the ballot. It says new revenue, which is the same thing, but
Didn't mention, but we were just talking about
yeah.
other ways for revenue. That's, however you wanna word it's fine.
Okay. And then number 1 is the land purchase. I'm going to ask if the Ways and Means committee members are available on February the 20th at 5 p.m. for a committee meeting. We ask that the land purchase remain on the agenda. And during this meeting, we would like to see how the city of Warren can effectively collaborate with the BCDC in purchasing the Pennington property. And we stated that we wanted that to be one item, not with all of the other items that we had, so that we could actually review it, see if there's any new information that can be shared with us. So on the 20th, is that good for you committee members? The 20th?
It's on a Thursday.
It's on a Thursday. Is that good?
That's good.
At 5 o'clock?
Yes.
Okay. And after the committee meet, we would like to have a special call meeting just for this particular item for the Ways and Means Committee recommendation to be acted on by the full council. And we will give you an update of that. Looking at possibly the 24th, which would be that last Monday at 5 o'clock. Special call meeting, yes, just for this particular one item. Okay, item number 2 is the ordinance, which is 963, which is the water and sewer rate. And if you'll remember, we had the actual public hearing. The Ways and Means Committee reviewed this item 3 times. We did have someone from the Arkansas Water to come and give us an analysis as it relates the City of Warren, Water and Wastewater Department. And what we are, the ordinance that we will ask that you pass tonight is the analysis that was done. The actual dollar amount has already been shared by the department director, and we're acting from the study of the analysis based upon Act number 605 that was put in place by the legislators. I move that ordinance number 963 be placed on its first reading.
Second.
Who seconded it? Okay, Councilmember Atkins seconded. All right, got a motion second to place proposed ordinance 963 on its first reading. Question or discussion of that motion? Okay. All in favor, show of hands. I see 6 in favor, so we'll read it. Proposed ordinance number 963. An ordinance to amend ordinance number 940 to amend existing water and sewer rates to raise the rates charged for services of the water and sewer system, City of Warren, Arkansas, for other purposes. Whereas City of Warren, Arkansas has established a Department of Water and Sewer to service the inhabitants of the City of Warren, to finance the operation and management of said department with fees collected for services rendered. It is necessary for the City Council to adjust the rates to be charged for such services. Now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Warren, Arkansas, that ordinance number 940 be amended as follows. Section 1, that the residential, commercial, and wholesale water rates are set out in detail in attachment A, and that is attached to the agenda. To this ordinance, it's attached to the ordinance, and incorporated herein as if set forth word for word of this ordinance. Section 2, that the residential and commercial sewer rates are set out in detail in attachment B to this ordinance and incorporated herein as if set forth word for word in this ordinance. Section 3, this ordinance shall be in full force and effect from and after its passage and publication. Section 4, an immediate necessity existing for the preservation of the public peace, health, safety, and welfare, to ensure the proper operation and maintenance of the system and maintain financial security of the system. Emergencies hereby declared exist. By reason thereof, this ordinance shall be in full force and effect from and after its passage and publication. Section 5, all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith are hereby repealed. That's it.
Move that we suspend the rules and place ordinance number 963 on its second reading.
Second.
I've got a motion made by Councilmember Henderson, seconded by Councilmember Burks Frazier to put it on its, suspend the rules and put it on its second reading. Question or discussion of that motion? All in favor, show of hands. I see. Okay, all in favor, show of hands. 6 in favor, okay. That's sufficient. Proposed ordinance 963, an ordinance to amend ordinance number 940 to amend existing water and sewer rates to raise the rates charged for services of the water and sewer system of the City of Warren, Arkansas, for other purposes.
I move that we suspend the rules and place ordinance number 963 on its third and final reading.
Second.
Motion and second. Okay, any question or discussion? Motion's made and seconded. Yes, sir, Mr. Tolfree.
I want to reiterate again, this is not an action that the city council put in effect. This was something that was laid down on the city from the state legislature and your governor. We just didn't have a committee meeting and this came about. It was brought to us and told us we did not have any other avenue other than take this action.
Other questions or discussion? The motion is for third and final reading. All in favor, show of hands. I see 6 in favor. An ordinance to amend ordinance number, proposed ordinance 963, and ordinance to amend ordinance number 940 to amend existing water and sewer rates to raise the rates charged for services of the water and sewer system of the City of Warren, Arkansas, and for other purposes.
I move that we adopt ordinance number 963.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. Any question or discussion? This is a motion to adopt. All You have a question? or comment?
No, I just want to concur that because of Act 605, the city council is moving forward.
Other comments or questions? Again, the motion is to adopt the ordinance. All in favor, show of hands, please. I see 6 in favor.
I move that we adopt the emergency clause.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded to adopt the emergency clause, which has to be done separately by law, as y'all know. Question, discussion on the emergency clause. All in favor, show of hands. I see 6 in favor. That adopts the ordinance and we'll proceed from there. Thank you. Council, is that all you got on your?
Well, if you would give us an update, I know that you were going to seek the guidelines of putting a tax on the ballot. Have you had a chance to?
No, ma'am, I have not yet. I'm sorry, I was gonna try to get stuff together for your committee to.
Okay, so you'll have it, you think, by the 20th?
I'll try to have something, yes, ma'am, at least basic.
That ends my report, thank you.
Could you tell, you said you wanted to add it to the agenda for the future, the baby box.
The safe haven, baby box, and city employees pay increase.
Oh, okay.
The 2% that we talked about?
What did you want to name number 3, the new revenue, what did you want me to call it?
New revenue safety tax.
New revenue safety tax.
Guidelines. We need
Guidelines,
to know how to do it. The mayor's getting that information.
guidelines to safety.
Don't be dependent on the mayor to come up with some silver bullet for you, but I'll go look as close as I can, I promise you. Because our people need a raise. I mean, no question about that, but we can't spend what we don't have, so we got some serious decisions to look at.
We'll leave it on the agenda.
Yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am.
That ends my report.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I'm gonna try to go again, rapidly here as I can. Reports of business, boards of commissions, you got Parks and Recreation, and that is, somewhere in there is minutes. Your packet, y'all have that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, make sure. Planning Commission, you got minutes of their last meeting, I believe, and then we do have an ordinance, proposed ordinance 961 that deals with, I don't remember which one this is here. It's a zoning, I'm sorry, it's for special use permit, it's a zoning matter. This is proposed ordinance 961, do y'all have a copy of that? Something, it may not have it at the top, but it ought to have somewhere on
We've
there.
got 2.
Well, this one is where is ordinance number 220 of the city of Warren.
They're both there.
All right, let's see, this one deals with, rezoning, from R1 to C1 is a special use to open and operate a food truck.
One of them's on Watts and one of them's on Central. It's the same. Am I wrong?
No, that's what it says.
One of them,
Is R1 to C1. One of them's on
I
Watts.
think there's 2 different, no, this one's on,
It says Watt Street.
it says Watt Street. Maybe you got 2 copies of
And
it.
this other one's Central.
West Central, this,
You read this quote? That's all.
All right, let's do the one that says Watts. Okay?
Which is the one page.
Yeah, the one pager, that's the best way to describe it. Y'all all with me? Y'all got that?
Say it again.
One page.
It's a one-page ordinance, it's proposed ordinance 961. And what it is doing, it was a request for a rezone of property from R1 to C1 to put a food truck on it, but the planning commission looked at it and said, well, we don't have a problem with that, but we don't want to rezone the property, it's just open-ended, because if you do that and the food truck don't stay, then you can put anything there that fits in C1. So that's the purpose in this. It has to be a food truck. As long as they keep the food truck there, they're in compliance. If they move it out or goes out of business or whatever, it goes back to being an R1 until rezoned again.
Is it in a residential area?
Yes.
What's the address?
That's Goat Neck. That's in Goat Neck.
306 Watts. It's in a residential area, yes.
Right off of Myrtle right there on the other side, before you get to the church.
Yeah, not Natty Boo Boo.
This is a recommendation from the planning commission. They did not want to rezone it permanently resident, commercial, sitting in the middle of a bunch of houses. If, you know, these things come and go.
Right, but do the,
Is that where it is? Okay.
Yeah, it passed to put the food truck there.
so the
It's been
residents.
through the public hearing, the whole bit.
I
Yeah.
move that we place ordinance number 961 on its first reading.
Second.
I
Okay.
yield.
I'll take Mr. Cole for a second. Who made the motion? Ms. Henderson again, I'm sorry. All right, this is proposed ordinance A961. An ordinance to amend ordinance, well, I gotta vote first, put it on first reading. Question or discussion, all in favor, show of hands. This is put it on first reading. 6 in favor. Ordinance 961 proposed, an ordinance to amend ordinance number 220 and for other purposes. Whereas by ordinance number 220, City of Warren, Arkansas adopted a zoning regulation of the City of Warren, Arkansas. The zoning prepared for Warren Planning Commission by the City Planning Division, University of Arkansas, Fayetteville, Arkansas, dated May 1964. That's when the zoning was put in, and adopted by the Warren Planning Commission on the 11th day of May 1964. And whereas the Warren Planning Commission is certified to the City Council of Warren, Arkansas, that said ordinance should be amended to classify the property in the City of Warren, Arkansas, hereinafter described, and there's a legal description that goes with it, from R1 to C1, as a special use of a food truck for James Woods to operate at 306 Watt Street in Warren, Arkansas, but to revert back to R1 if and when he ceases to operate a food truck on these premises, on those premises. Now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Warren, Arkansas, ordinance number 220 of the City of Warren, Arkansas, including but not limited to all maps and descriptions of zoning districts B. And the same hereby is amended to classify all that property in the City of Warren, Arkansas, described in attachment A to this ordinance, and incorporated herein as is set forth for word for word in this ordinance from R1 to C1 as a special use to open and operate a food truck business at that location. Section 2, this order shall be in full force effect from and after its adoption and publication. There is no emergency clause, so.
Move that we suspend the rules and place ordinance number 961 on its second reading.
Got a motion?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Frazier, Burke Frazier. Motion second, this is for second reading. Any question, all in favor,
Question.
show of hands?
Question,
Oh, I'm sorry, hold the vote, go
Question.
ahead.
how is this gonna affect what you're working on with, the food trucks?
Well,
Councilmember Hooper?
It might affect what fees and stuff they have to pay or something like that.
So we're not talking about location?
This is talking about location, yes
But I
ma'am.
guess that's my question,
Yeah.
so,
They have to be in a commercial
Commercial.
zone.
I get that. But I'm wondering, are we starting to set a precedence that anybody, if there's an empty lot in anybody's neighborhood,
They still have to pay the fees.
They still have to go through the rezone.
food trucks
No, here-
popping up in
here's-
every neighborhood?
You're not understanding the point here. The fee don't have anything to do with it. This is actually protect the neighborhoods where that it, because if, let's just use Mr. Woods for an example here. I'm not saying he'd do this, but he puts a food truck in, runs it for 6 months, and, you know, decides that's not what he's gonna do, and he shuts it down. There's all kinds of businesses that could legally locate in a C1. This would not let that happen without it coming back and being rezoned again. This is a temporary rezoning only for this food truck and for Mr. Woods. If it even changed hands, it would be illegal.
Yes,
So
sir.
this is to protect the neighborhood, is what this is about.
Yes, I understood.
You got it?
I'm just wondering, again, are we setting a precedent that next week?
They have to come, they have to have a
They
hearing.
have to go to
Yes.
planning commission.
But if the
then.
planning commission says yes, then now we did it for this
No,
one?
you don't have to do it just because planning commission recommends it.
We can
vote it down.
And they have voted things down, they take it a case-by-case basis.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't think this is proper, you don't have to go for it. No. I understand what you're asking, I do. I mean, you know, you do it one place and somebody else comes in and wants it. But now, some neighborhoods, folks aren't gonna be for it anyway. Apparently, everybody over there around this piece of property had no opposition to it. Because they went through the, you know, advertised it, having the public hearing, and nobody opposed it.
They could have signed up.
Oh, yeah, we always put a sign up in advance. Does that answer your question?
Yes, sir.
Councilmember Atkins?
Thank you.
Okay, this is second reading, right? All right, let's, I think we're ready to vote on that.
Yes.
All in favor of second reading approval, show of hands. I see 6 in favor. Opposed ordinance number 961, and orders to amend ordinance number 220 for other purposes.
Move that we suspend the rules and place ordinance number 961 on its third and final reading.
Second.
Second by Councilmember Atkins. Question or discussion? Yes, sir, Ms. Tolfree.
Just to solidify her, is there anybody in the courtroom that stand in opposition to this that would like to have something to say? Thank you, good. Thank you, Mayor.
You promote me or demote me? Okay, no, I'm just kidding. All right, this is, got a motion second for the third and final reading. Okay, we got the second on that already, okay. So here we're gonna, an ordinance to amend, all in favor of third and final reading. I'm getting myself confused. Six in favor, thank you.
I move that we adopt.
Wait a minute, I gotta read it.
Okay, go ahead.
Proposed ordinance 961, orders to amend orders number 220 for other purposes.
Move that we adopt ordinance number 961.
Second.
Okay, Ms. Tolfree makes the second. All right, this is a motion to adopt. Question or discussion? All in favor of adoption, show of hands. I see 5 in favor, those opposed, 1 opposed. Councilmember Atkins opposes. It does pass 5-1. And there's no emergency clause or anything, so we don't have to worry about that. Now, the next one, let me see where I am here. It just says rezone, and this is to rezone property. This is a different piece of property. This will be proposed ordinance 962, won't it? Is that right?
Yes, this is 962.
962 for this one, right? This is
If they're in order, yes.
another, well, yeah.
It says at 513 West Central. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes. I'm trying to make sure I tell y'all, it's property from R1 to C1, and I'm trying to think what this is. It's moving it from residential to commercial, and I think it's right there next to some other businesses.
What is it?
I guess Rob.
Is it next to
Yeah, I think it's right, it's a piece of property next door to it, yes. I'm sorry, I'm
One that just cleared.
where the, Mr. McWilliams had his produce place out there on Central, be on the west side of it, if I'm not mistaken, I'm sorry. But that's to make, that's
Oh,
residential,
Washington.
the lot is residential, they wanna change it to commercial.
Yeah.
And it's been through the plan commission with a new pass recommendation. So this is proposed ordinance
Commercial.
962.
Move we place.
Okay, hello guys, here we go.
Move we place ordinance number 962 on this first reading.
Okay,
Second.
motion and second. Get that? Both. Proposed ordinance 962 and orders to amend ordinance number 220, that'd be 220, what should go there. And for other purposes, whereas the ordinance, well, first, got a vote, any question or discussion? They'll be able to put anything on, this is a pure rezone here, okay? Whatever fits in C1 zoning, they can put there. All in favor, first reading, show of hands. Hold your hands up so I can see, please. All right, 6 in favor, thank you. And Mr. Tollfree reminded me, I do need to ask if there's anybody here about this piece of property that wants to say anything. I should have done that on the other one, he bailed me out.
That's what I'm here for.
Appreciate it. Okay, I said nobody. All right, this is for first reading. Y'all voted to do that, right? Proposed ordinance number 962, an ordinance to amend ordinance number 220 for other purposes, whereas the ordinance number 220, City of Warren, Arkansas, adopted the zoning regulations for the City of Warren, Arkansas, the zoning prepared for Warren Planning Commission by the City Planning Division, University of Arkansas, Fayetteville, Arkansas, dated May 1964, adopted by the Warren Planning Commission on the 11th day of May 1964, whereas the Warren Planning Commission has certified the City Council of Warren, Arkansas, that said ordinance should be amended to classify the property in the City of Warren, Arkansas, hereinafter described, again, legal description attached, from R1 to C1. Now therefore be it ordained by City Council of the City of Warren, Arkansas, ordinance number 220, or that's a misprint there, it said say number 220, of the City of Warren, Arkansas, including but not limited to all maps, descriptions of zoning districts, be and the same hereby is amended to classify all that property in the City of Warren, Arkansas described in attachment A to this ordinance, and incorporated herein as if set forth word for word in this ordinance from R1 to C1 for Lucy McWilliams at 513 West Central, that's the location. Section 2, this order shall be in full force and effect from and after its adoption and publication. First reading.
Move that we suspend the rules and place ordinance number 962 on its second reading.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded for second reading. Is there any question or discussion? All in favor, show of hands. See 6 in favor. Opposed, ordinance 962, and ordinance to amend ordinance number 220 for other purposes.
Move that we suspend the rules and place ordinance number 962 on its third and final reading.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. Any question or discussion on that motion for third reading? All in favor, show of hands. 6 in favor. Proposed ordinance 220 and 962. It's confusing. Proposed ordinance 962 and ordinance to amend ordinance number 220 for other purposes.
I move that we adopt ordinance number 962.
Second.
Motion seconded by Councilmember Burks Frazier. This is to adopt. Again, it has to be published and everything before it becomes effective, but question or discussion? All in favor, show of hands. 6 in favor to adopt the ordinance. Thank you.
Mayor, if you'll look at both of the ordinances, the date need to be updated.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I saw that. I saw a few
Yeah, some
things there.
typographical
That'll be
things as
correct.
well.
All right, that takes care of the planning commission. Aviation, you do not have anything, because they haven't met recently, they will be. Water and sewer, this is their routine reports. You've got minutes of their last board meeting. You've got their financial reports, they're all in your packet for your information. You've got an annual report, 1-page annual report for water and sewer on how many gallons of water they pump and so forth and so on. And then, item 3, you've got a letter from the commissioners, Mr. Talbert and Mr. Hamlet, Boyce Hamlet. Kelly Ashcraft's term is running out, about to run out as the third member. Under state law, those other 2 members get to nominate this position. Now, the council has to act on it, one way or the other. We certainly recommend that you approve it, but we do need a motion and a second to confirm her appointment, if you see fit.
I move that Kelly Ashcraft be reappointed.
Second.
Motion's made and second. Is there any question or discussion? This is reappointing her to the position on the Water and Sewer Commission. All in favor, show of hands. I see 6 in favor. Thank you all for that. And then let's see, Housing Authority, you've got some reports from them in there. One of them's a 2024, well, it is a 2024 report. So you got that. You've got the cultural center, just monthly.
Right quick.
Yes, sir.
Doing the reorganization of the federal government, is that gonna affect the housing authority?
I don't know, Mr. Tollfree, that's a good question. I mean, I can't answer that right off. It could affect a lot of things. It could affect a lot of things. Apparently, the Congress is not doing much of anything, it's just, so I don't know. I wish I could answer that for you, but I can't.
That'd be a sad thing to have a lot of homeless people.
Well, I understand. Okay, now, we've got unfinished business. Now, the municipal building roof is something we're still working on to try. We got about a $20,000 repair to our roof here that needs to be done sometime in the very near future. And again, I'm looking for money. Try to figure out a way to maybe find something through some programs that might can help us on that. But then you've got another ordinance to amend. This is already, it's proposed ordinance 960, and we're proposing, well, it says 962.
Yeah, I don't know, I didn't do these.
Now, these are all out of order because we've been getting these things done and moving around to different places. We may have put the wrong number on that other one. If we do, we'll have to put the correct number on there, and hope everybody understands that, okay? This says this is ordinance 962, which I guess had done been assigned to it. I'll tell you what we're gonna do. We're gonna pass on that one right now, and I can get the numbers right, because that's not an emergency. It's something we can deal with at the proper time. It's an amendment to the ordinance that y'all passed not too long ago. 960 had to do with blind fences in front of houses. And Rob found some issue here that he thought needed to be amended after it was passed. And, but let's hold off on it. Is everybody okay with that? Until we make sure we get the numbers, get the numbers right on that, before we do it. Then you got unfinished business, that's it on unfinished. Then new business. And this is just for your information. We had a meeting of the Board of Adjustments and Appeals. They don't meet very often. Had some different people that been on there that hadn't even met before. This is people that, when like some building code or line setback is requested to be adjusted. There's certain things that can be done, but this board is the one that takes it under consideration, looks at the codes and says, well, we can waive this a little bit here or change it up a little if we think it's appropriate. We had a meeting just to make sure all of them knew who they were and what their purpose is. Also, the Warren Fair Housing Commission, same thing, because they have the authority to investigate any unfair housing practices or discrimination. My watch is talking to me. I have to stop that thing.
Just have it.
Anyway, but that's y'all can read that, your information. Announcements. Municipal building be closed February 17th, 2025 in observance of the President's Day. That's a holiday like we were talking about earlier. And my opinion that's not a holiday that generates a whole lot of extra garbage, and I think we'll be fine not to pick garbage up on that day. That'll save us some money. So I'm just telling y'all, that's a perfect example of what we've been talking about. Do y'all have any announcements that we don't have on here? Anybody know something that needs to be announced that I forgot or maybe don't know about and didn't put on here? All right, you've got the bills for January of 2025.
Make a motion, pay the bill. Oh, sorry.
I think Ms. Tollfree made it. Seconded by Councilmember Henderson. You've got a list of every one of them that's been spent in the month of January. Question or discussion? All in favor, show of hands. 6 in favor. Thank you very much. Next regular scheduled meetings, okay? Agenda meeting March the 6th. Next city council meeting, this will be March the 10th again, same day of the month. Have I forgotten anything? Then I'm understanding I still have the authority to adjourn the meeting without a motion, so I therefore adjourn the meeting. Thank y'all.